Yo, what is up? So I've reached a dilemma. I don't know, I've owned this truck for over a year now, and it's been treating me very well. I did a few things. I added some lights and some tires, and I've added, we watch my other videos. But anyways, if you remember, over a year ago, I made a video when I first got this truck, and it has in it right now a 300 cubic inch inline 6 single barrel carb. Oh, it won't even open. There we go. And it's a great motor. This motor runs perfect. I have some troubles with the electric choke, but that's not the motor's fault. See, I got a zip tie holding the choke open because it'll close on its own. I just haven't had the time to look at it. But it still runs great. You can see it's leaking there. It leaks a little bit of everything. It's an old truck. I just learned to deal with it. Known as the Tower of Power. They're great motors. Super reliable. These motors have been used in everything from dump trucks to delivery trucks to combines. They've been used in everything. Super reliable motor. Goes and goes and goes. Decent amount of torque. I mean, I stalled it a few times, but great motor for going down trails and just romping through the bush. But where it really falls short is going down the highway. I mean, this is a lot of truck for this 4.9 liter to be moving. .37-inch Super Swampers. Uh, 410 gears. It's got a 4-speed manual, and it's getting pretty tired. It's whining a lot in the 3rd gear. Everything leaks. Transfer case leaks like crazy. I bought a rebuild kit for that because I'm going to reuse that with whatever motor this truck gets. See, it's a divorced transfer case. There's the transmission. Got a little drive shaft coming to the transfer case. Then you got drive shafts front and rear. And the reason Ford did that is actually a selling point, because this is a highboy, a true highboy, which meant basically factory lift kit, but Ford centered. I don't know if you can see it. Ford centered the transfer case in the truck, so the front and rear drive shafts are nearly equal, allowing you to lift the truck up higher and keep the U-joints reliable. You're not always going through U-joints. That was basically the main reason. Keep the geometry proper, but get the truck up high. It was a great idea. I like it. You run into more vibration issues with that one extra drive shaft, but it's really not a big deal. So back to my dilemma. When I first bought this truck, I was talking about turbocharging the inline 6 just to give it a little bit more get up and go on the highway, because it does fine off-road. Well, if you start sinking in the mud, it could use a little bit more get up and go as well. I think a turbo would solve those problems. Problem with a turbo is it's got to spool up. You don't get that power right away. That being said, it might not actually help you in the mud if you're bogging down, because you're not going to be able to spool up your turbo. So I was thinking about turboing this engine for a while, and I even went so far as to buy another truck, an F-150. It's over there, that black one with fuel injected inline 6, just to get the better exhaust manifold and fuel injection bits and pieces, injectors and stuff, to try and make this fuel injection ordeal work. But of course that never really went anywhere. This truck runs and drives. I put a new clutch in it actually. So I couldn't bring myself to pull this truck apart because it's still working so good, and I've been using it for tons of stuff. It helps me out all the time, and it hasn't really needed anything. I just keep the fluids topped up. It leaks everything, literally everything. I just keep them topped up and I get by. I put in these nice leather seats from Jeep, a Jeep Cherokee. Found them at the wreckers. So yeah, turboing the inline 6 idea kind of faded away. I was focusing on my Mercury. If you watch some other videos, I fuel injected this with the Holly Sniper, and I love that system. And then I don't know, I got kind of caught up in the diesel craze. I had a diesel Jetta, Volkswagen Jetta, that I put a stack coming out the hood, and it was crazy and awesome. I got a video on that too. And I got all caught up in the diesel, so I decided I was gonna go with a 5.9 Cummins. So I bought this boy. It's been just sitting in the corner here. I have a video of it running. It still turns over. So this is a 5.9 Cummins 12 valve. It's a good one. It's got the awesome P pump on it. And it's an industrial Cummins. It's slightly different than what comes in the Dodge Ram pickups. This came out of a school bus, a Ford school bus, which made it kind of a neat project because it's basically a Cummins with Ford parts all over it going into a Ford. So that was kind of neat. It came with this, it's a 4-speed Eaton Fuller transmission. And the guy I bought it from said the transmission was shot, and that's the reason they weren't driving the bus. So I believed him. I mean, the motor fired up, ran good. I have an oil pressure gauge. It had good oil pressure. And okay, back to the industrial. What that means is a little bit different specs on the motor. You can't see, but the oil pan is a front sump. It's a big one. It's huge. It's got this massive bell housing on the back that has to come off. There's no wastegate on the turbo. And I don't know what the other differences are, but it comes with this huge alternator. Could probably weld with that thing. So it's been sitting here forever because I came to a standstill. I was doing the math on the gear ratios and everything, and with some tuning to the pump I might get 2,500 RPM out of this Cummins. And with that transmission and the 410 gears in the truck, I'll still struggle to maintain highway speed. Like that motor will be screaming all the time, and that's not a good life for it. So I started looking into getting overdrive transmissions, and I stumbled across this ZF5 sitting right here. It's just a 5-speed overdrive transmission. It came out of a Ford dump truck. It was behind a 460 big block, which I have the motor too, and the flywheel and all the parts and all that. And I really liked it because it had this drum brake on the back, which I need. I need a good parking brake. And so to connect this transmission to this Cummins, which can be done and it can handle the power, you need an adapter plate, a flywheel, and a clutch. And then to get that whole assembly into the truck, I would still need an oil pan, motor mounts, and a lot of modification to the truck. I basically have to take the cab off the frame because I have to cut into the firewall and the floor, and the floor's got rust, so if I'm going that far I might as well start fixing the floor and the rust. So I kind of bit off more than I could chew. I'm at a standstill because it's going to be about $3,000 in parts, just parts, to get this going again, get the ball rolling. Plus I have to take my truck completely apart. The truck will be out of commission for who knows how long. So there's that option, which would be cool. Making a diesel, I'd probably put stacks on it and all that. And I don't know, I've just been kind of waiting, see if some money comes my way, make it happen, making other deals. To even lift that Cummins, I have to mount this engine hoist here on the back of this truck, like weld it to the frame and support it with chains, just to be able to lift that Cummins and move it around. So even that's an ordeal too. Which I'd probably do that anyways for any kind of motor swap. And at the time when I bought that Cummins, I didn't have this 2016 F250. So this ties into a lot of my other videos. If you've been keeping up with my channel, I had a 2017 Chevy Colorado and I wasn't happy with it, so I traded it off, got rid of it, and I got this F250, which has been awesome. I love this truck to pieces. It has a 6.2 gas, 4-inch lift, and it's great. I tow my camper with it, throw the quads on it, does everything I need it to do. And that really, I was using this truck for all that stuff. And then, once again, another one of my videos, I popped a seal in the transmission. And it's been working ever since, but I don't trust it to tow anything very far. This truck is a 460 big block, fuel injected. But since getting this truck, this old truck has lost a lot of purpose in its life. I tried selling it a couple times. Nobody wants it because it's two-wheel drive. I shouldn't say that. Somebody'd buy it for dirt cheap, but I'm not just going to let it go either. It's getting some rust, but it runs amazing. It's a great motor. I love it. So much power. I still love getting in this truck and just ripping it up because it's got so much power. Like, it'll leave the 6.2 in the dust for sure. So what I'm getting at here is I've got a truck that does everything I need except off-road. Maybe I'll throw in a clip here I made with my drone of these two trucks going through the same snow. And this truck will go through what you wouldn't believe, and it's because of its flotation. It's because of these tires, and it's because it's light. It's just got an inline 6 and it's low gearing. those factors, this truck will just, it floats on top of muskeg, it floats on top of sand, it never digs itself down, unless I'm being dumb. And over the last year, the main thing I use this truck for is going through deep snow, like I went through the yard yesterday with it, sand, trails, muskeg, and a little bit of highway. Like all my trails and stuff are maybe half an hour from my house. So I've been thinking and thinking, and people have been telling me as well, if I put that Cummins in this truck, I'm not going to love it anymore because I'm going to be so heavy in the front end, it's not going to float like it does now. And I believe them. That motor, okay, here's a good example. This crane on the back of this truck, I lifted a 460 big block with it, swung it around, and dropped it in the box. It was a little bit sketchy, but it did it. It was fine. I tried lifting that Cummins with the crane. Nope. Hell no. It didn't even get that thing like an inch off the ground. It couldn't move it. It was bending the box of the truck. The crane was flexing. The bolts were coming out. Like bad shit was happening. So yeah, a 460 big block's heavy, but that Cummins is substantially more heavy. I don't know the exact numbers, but holy crap. And there's other factors, like, okay, take this scenario. Okay, you're cruising down a trail, you come up to a bit of a mud hole. With this engine right now, I'd put it in first, and I'd put it to the floor and hope for the best. And pray you don't run out of power. This engine really doesn't have enough to get the wheels up and spinning. It kind of just chugs its way through, but it's nothing spectacular. I'll insert a video of that right here. It's already on YouTube, but I'll put it in this one too. And yeah, it did it. It was fine. Okay, same scenario with the Cummins. You put it in first gear. And you put her to the floor and you hope for the best. Now the Cummins tops out at 2,500 RPM, and that is it. Yeah, you have all the torque in the world. Your wheels aren't going to stop spinning, but they're not spinning fast enough to clear out the mud. You might be able to put it in second gear, get some wheel speed, but I think you're getting to the point there where you're going to start breaking shit. You've got so much torque, and you're hitting mud holes, and I just feel like you're going to snap something. An axle, like you're too heavy in the front. Your front's just going to sink, and you'll be screwed. Now, this 306, I get about 3,500 RPM out of it. Maybe I could build it to handle more, throw turbo on it, and all that stuff. But these motors aren't known for revving. They're not. RPMs is what kills them. 35 is still more than the 25 that Cummins can give me. Okay, now let's play through the scenario with the 460 big block, which is known as a mud motor. They've been putting 460 big blocks in these old trucks for mudding forever. So you got the 460 big block. Let's put her in first. Let's hit that mud hole. And when you stomp on it, you're gonna have the horsepower, you're gonna get the wheel speed. You're not gonna be that heavy in the front end. I really don't think it's gonna weigh that much more than the 306. I think it's the best. It'd be the best option. 460 big block, big old headers. I try and keep the fuel injection So she'd run at all kinds of crazy angles. She'd be reliable. It would have that 5-speed overdrive transmission. It'd go down the highway. You get the RPM out of it. You could build it, put a cam in it. I think it'd be sweet. Yeah, it's not going to get the economy. It's going to burn twice as much fuel as the Cummins. But honestly, that doesn't really matter to me. Like I said, I go half an hour down the road and then I'm on the trail. Okay, maybe I'll run out of fuel going down the trail, but whatever, take some jerry cans with you. Not a big deal. The Cummins, it's an awesome motor, torque for days, but really it's for towing. It's for economy and towing, whereas the big blocks for horsepower and noise and having fun, spinning donuts. If I build the big block up to get $5 grand out of it, just think about the first gear, you're getting twice the wheel speed as you are with the Cummins. You don't have all the torque, but I don't think that matters. Anyways, I don't know what else I could say about it. As you can tell, I'm pretty much sold on putting a big block in. And I have two. I have two 460s. So I have parts. I have all the parts I need. I don't have to buy anything more. Well, maybe some motor mounts, but I might be able to fab them. I think motor mounts for the 460 conversion on this truck are like 300 bucks. Versus the $3 grand I need for all the adapter plates and pieces for the Cummins to go in here, plus the modifications. I believe the 460 will fit. It's been done. And there's just something about a big block with chrome headers, chrome valve covers, nice headers. Yeah, the diesel's cool. You get the turbo whistle and the black smoke and all that, but I don't know about putting the Cummins anymore. I could sell this Cummins and use the money from that to get everything else I need to put the 460 in this truck. Right now it has a Dana 44 front axle and a Dana 60 rear. That white truck over there with the stacks, it has a Sterling 10 1/4 limited slip rear end with 410 gears. That would fit perfectly in this truck. And it would match up good with the Dana 60 front that I bought to put under this truck in the front. Right there, sitting under pile junk. My Dana 60 front with leafs and disc brakes. Kitty! I don't know, man. I could put those stacks on there. Even though it'll be gas, it still sounds good. Loves it. I think this truck knows its time is coming up. It wouldn't start just now. Well, it wouldn't start a few days ago. I figured it was just too cold, but then today, plenty warm outside, and turned the key and really nothing happened. Just a little flicker, but no power to anything. I checked the battery, it's still at 12 volts, so electrical issue. And I don't know, I was just about ready to give up, and all of a sudden it had power. It just came to life and fired up, so I don't know what that could be. Still runs good. Sounds good with these stacks. I don't know. only thing I'm worried about, taking the white truck apart, combining it with the red truck, is I'll end up with two of the same trucks, because this 2016 is a big gas 4x4, and that's going to be a big gas 4x4. The major difference being is I'm going to take that off-road and down trails and not worry about trees scratching it. For this, that would never happen. Plus, this is about as high as I can lift it and still tow a trailer and all that. And that truck I can lift to the moon. I put bigger tires on it. Just really don't matter. I'm not going to tow with it. So that would be the main difference. Old and new. Oh, I love those stacks. Those stacks with that sound and that power on that truck. That'd be pretty cool. I really like the 460 big block idea. And I love my shined up V8s. There's nothing better than chrome valve covers, a nice air filter, and a nice set of headers. That's probably about enough of me rambling on about it. Let me know what you think in the comments. It's probably going to start a big online fight about what motor's better, but okay, well, thanks for watching.